Yo, welcome to the video. I decided to get my boy Lin. Really wanted to collab with him for a long ass time. Couldn't make up my mind, so I was just like, "Hey, yo, Lin, want to yap?" And he was like, "Yeah." So, yeah, we're with my boy Lin. Most people who watching this probably know who he is, but hey, I'm gonna let him introduce himself anyways. So go for it.
All right, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm LinNull, also known as Lin. I do videos or guides for Zenless Zone Zero. I try and focus more on like the tech stuff and the little niche things that you can do with each individual characters. And wherever possible, I try to sneak in some combos of like an Under Night style overlay as well. I do like my fighting games. But yeah, if you want to check out some character guides and you like them detailed and you like to hear people yap, then hopefully you like some of my videos.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Kate the Seventh, and I'll be your host today.
But yeah, we're here, guys. We're gonna talk about some topics that we wanted to go over. Current game state, some stuff about Anomaly, Aftershocks, and future game direction. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. But Lin, brother, how do you feel about the current game state?
I'm actually quite happy with some caveats, I guess, with asterisks, but I think Zenless Zone Zero has probably the best combat sandbox in the gacha space. I mean, I haven't played Wuthering Waves as much to be able to compare directly, but I think just the things that you can do in Zenless and the freedom that you have for player expression, especially like the end game modes like the A and Shiyu, it's pretty mind-boggling. I think that the devs as well, they kind of tacitly acknowledge a lot of the cool stuff that you can do, like how we recently had DP assist be introduced. And although the tech that you say gets patched, a lot of the tech gets patched, but a lot of the tech doesn't get patched. And I think the devs kind of acknowledge that, and I think that's pretty good. I think the game is in a good state. We keep getting characters like Ishuan. I think that's pretty solid. They've been doing little things like releasing characters with outfits on release. I mean, 2.0 we had Ishuan with an outfit. 2.1 we've had Alice and Yuzuha with outfits as well. I mean, I think that's pretty good. I like having characters releasing with outfits. So I think it's pretty good. The game is going in a good direction. They're making performance points be easier to get in Deadly Assault as well. Like they changed between needing to do dodges in Notorious Butcher to having to just get disorders instead. I think there is some bad things as well. I think I'll pass over to you. Are you satisfied with the current game state? How do you think about things?
Yo, I just want more titties. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, but if we're talking, but if we're talking like serious though, like about the game, I know that some people are like starting to worry about the future, but like you said at the beginning about the sandbox and the freedom in this game, like it's crazy how much player like skill expression is in ZZZ, right? The amount of times, and like this is not me gassing myself up because I don't even think I'm a top tier player. If you want to see a top tier player, go watch Yoji. But the amount of times I'm able to like get on someone's account on like account hell because they do a lot of account reviews and able to just take the characters that they already have and like show people like how they can improve with the stuff they already have. And the players in my chat and stream chat will say, "Oh my god, like I never even knew you could do that." It's always a good feeling because like it lets you know that you're able to show a more casual player like, hey, like there's more to the character that they're playing. And I think that's always nice and help them improve that way. I will say the one thing I'm kind of worried about for the future is W engines. They're getting kind of ridiculous, and I'm really wondering, are they gonna keep going down the train in the future? I wonder if they're gonna continue down this path of making extremely powerful W engines for characters. How do you feel about that? If they like some of these engines are getting a little bit crazy.
I mean, I'd love to go back to Yuan days where you have like an engine be just a few percent better than the like standard banner alternatives. I think it's still a little bit like that, to be honest. I don't fully agree with the evaluation that engines are getting super powerful because we had Fufu come out, and Fufu's engine is kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
It's not bad. It's good, but it's like if you're gonna invest, you're probably better off going for like M1 Fufu, and that gives you way more value than her Wenjin. We got Yuzuha. It's kind of the same with her. It's like, well, Yuzuha's Wenjin is like nice, I guess. It's pretty good. But you can also use Kratos. You know, you can use Kaboom the Cannon, and they're still plenty good. I mean, it's. I don't like the fact that you need her Wenjin to max out her passive. I think that's unfriendly game design. I think it's like, oh, you want to get the most out of the character? Well, you're not just getting the Wenjin for the effects that the Wenjin provides. You're getting the Wenjin so that you can actually unlock the full potential of the character, and I don't like that. But they have definitely been making like DPS engines, like main character engines, like Ishuan, having terrible free-to-play alternatives for her attack. Alice's Wenjin just being ridiculously strong, not just for her, but like for every other character too. Like, you know, you put it on Piper, it's best in slot for Piper, arguably best in slot for Jane too. And I like the fact that an engine can be used in multiple characters. It's something that they haven't been doing much. They've been locking down Wenjins like more and more, making them increasingly specific. So I think I do like the ability to use Wenjins on other characters and have that be strong. But I don't like them being such a improvement or such an increase in the character's damage that kind of, you kind of have to pull them together, right? You don't get to just, oh, I'm gonna pull the character and then, you know, pull the Wenjin because I want a slight stat increase and I want like the cool coloring, you know, the power creep of, you know, Wenjin effects, I suppose, which I think has actually been a good thing. Is really cool, the effects that you get with them. But I wish they tone it down a bit. Like, it's okay to keep it as an increase, but I think if they make it match more the way that it's for Mindscape, like keep it within like, oh, it's like a 15% increase on the character's contribution, I think that'd be fine. But if it's like, oh, this is a 40% increase, I think that's overkill. I think that's ridiculous. Wenjins aside as well, and I think there's some other small things I feel like they could improve. Just like the fact that, first of all, like story exploration, I think it's a pretty big deal. Like, I really struggled going through Fufu story because of how the English text takes so long to scroll through, and we can't replay that anymore. So I think the tempo management stuff gets a little bit on my nerves. Feels like a bit like a chore, like a homework that you have to do. So I'm a little bit concerned almost that they may be potentially giving up some attention to quality of life or the attention to detail that they've historically had given to the game. And I just want to make sure that they don't lose sight of that as, you know, we continue going to 2.0 and start getting new things and new features and more characters and more mechanics. I hope they kind of look back at the, you know, what's the day-to-day experience for a player, and, you know, how is the playing the game outside of just the statistics as well. I think it's a pretty big deal that I hope they continue to focus on going forwards.
How do you feel about the current enemy design, like the most recent enemies? Anything you don't like?
Yes. I mean, I think, well, it depends, right? I personally am a bit of a boring person in the sense that I like scripted fights. I love Typhon, my favorite fight, because you can kind of know what he's gonna do. But then you do something like Miasmic Fiend, and she does a little like talisman charge thing, and it's like, okay, we have to reset, because she does like 3 times in a row, and that really changes how you route the fight. That's, I think, really annoying. So I'd like enemies that are a little bit more consistent with AI, although some people might find that to be more boring because there's less random chance on how enemies behave. Overall, I think like the visual design is really good. I think the performance points being easier to get is really good. HP a little bit too steep, considering that you don't do anything in the fight for 30 seconds. I've gotten to the point that when I'm watching people fight against Miasmic Fiend, I just kind of skip past the performance points bit.
Yeah.
It takes so long. But yeah, go on.
I remember we were talking a while ago about they are making performance points overall a little bit easier for a lot of the DA bosses to get, and in return, that's becoming the fights that people are, you know, doing well on typically. Like Typhon, Notorious Butcher now for Anomaly teams, Fiend, even Priest. Priest has a very easy performance points as long as you have at least 2 characters on your team that can defensive assist. I really like that. I don't like it when the performance points are maybe you disagree, but I don't like it when the performance points are dodge, counter, or parry, because some teams benefit from defensive assist a lot more than others, and some teams benefit from dodge counters a lot more than others. So I'm not a really big fan of dodge counter and defensive assist performance points, because those are also not guaranteed either. So you'll also see a lot of times players, when they have one of those two, their performance points will vary from below 2,000 or just a little bit below, above 3,000, right? So it's very rare to see a casual player get over 3k performance points with dodge counter and defensive assist. Who's your least favorite Miasma boss? You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Fucking Jane.
Jane. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Jane.
At first I was thinking the like the fat guy, but when you said Jane, no, there's no
contest. It's Jane. It's Jane, bro. It has to be Jane. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Like, there was many times with Jane, it didn't even feel like she was a difficult boss. It just felt like, can I win this RNG? You know, yeah.
The amount of times that I've used an ultimate and she just jumps out. Like, well, what's the point? What's going on? Oh man, I have footage as well of her. I think she has like a little glitch where even while she's stunned, if you juggle her in the air, she sometimes just kind of flies away.
Yes, she will.
Even mid stun.
Yep.
What's going on?
Yep.
It's such a jank boss.
I don't know what they were cooking with that, bro. Like, because I'm all for a boss being evasive. I'm all for a boss being able to, you know, get out of things. But Jane felt egregious.
I think a good comparison would be like Hugo. I think Hugo's actually done all right, even though he has like really short stun period.
Yeah. Since
you break his shield straight away, right? You just go into the parry strings, and you get a ridiculous amount of shred from the parries. It means it kind of sets you up, and he doesn't just like break out of stuff randomly. You can at least parry it. He doesn't jump out and become invulnerable whenever you use an ultimate on him. I think Hugo's an example of, you can do shadow bosses, have them not be insanely obnoxious. I mean, he's still very RNG, but Jane is just a different level.
Genuinely, in my community, people have been telling me that they are taking longer on Flame Cantor than they are on Razor, which is crazy because Flame Cantor is supposed to be the elite. It's crazy.
It's really stupid.
I guess they're just trying to experiment with like that one tanky elite and into a boss, but like sometimes the elite is feeling worse than the boss, you know? And it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, Razor. I think the thing is, Razor, I think, is a very well designed enemy because of you get the anomaly on the shock, and then you already get like a free disorder. So you get Death from that, and then he just melts after that. I think that's pretty cool. But then Flame Cantor is like, well, it's just someone's ads. I think if they want to do a tanky enemy at the start, is the whole like Fabauti, right? You have like this big one tanky enemy. You have Fabauti be the elite. Have, I don't know, Doulahan or something be the elite. You have a standard, easy, predictable moveset tanky enemy at the start, and then no other ads. Nothing that you have to group up. Nothing that you have to work around. You're just dealing with like one tanky mob. Because I think when they removed mobs from Shiyu, if you have no mobs at all, you have no way to build resources, no way to build decibels.
Exactly.
If you have one tanky mob, you have that resource, but at the same time, you might end up needing to spend those decibels on the tanky elite.
Exactly. And
that kind of opens up different ways of handling Shiyu fights, which I think can be creative. But if they then start checking everything together, so we're going to have ads, and we're going to have tanky elites, and then we're going to have, the tanky enemy boss at the end, I think then it gets a bit too all over the place.
Do you prefer the Shiyu? So we have three different versions of Shiyu floor now for Shiyu 7. We have the version where you go straight into the boss. We have the version where there's just normal mobs into a boss, and now we have the version of elite into a boss. Which one do you like the most, or is there not really one that you like more than another? It just depends on the fight.
I like the variety, I think is what I'd say. I like having, because if it's only, I don't like just the little mobs, because a lot of times they're really annoying to optimize. It's, you have to take, one step to the left and then, 3 steps forwards, and then, use the skill at a precise moment and frame to make sure that you get the right days on like 3 out of the 4 mobs, so that you get a chain attack. But then the chain attack does not proc another chain, so you can quick assist to another character to then get another chain attack, and then that loops her out to another. It's cool optimizing at first, but when 90% of the fight is just optimizing the mobs at the start, I think that gets a little bit exhausting, especially if you're doing it on side 1, because then, well, every time you restart, you have to watch the cutscene all over again, so you spend more time looking at cutscenes and fighting the enemies. I don't like the mobs at the start all that much, depending on how they're made. I think depending on how hard or easy or required it is for you to kind of farm decibels on them for the main elite. Going straight into it is very boring, but I like it. Makes it feel like it's just a shorter Deadly Assault. But at the same time, well, it is just a shorter Deadly Assault, so you might as well just play the A for that. So although I like it, I can see it being a bit of an issue. Admittedly, Shiyu is only like 40 polychromes, the difference between like an A rank and an S rank. So you're missing less than like a daily login, and it only comes around once every 2 weeks. So the loss is not great, but because it is a goal that the game sets for you to achieve, it does feel really bad when you don't get it. So I think they've, especially with the tanky elites at the start, I think it's actually been getting very difficult. Because as you say, like when you have the little mobs at the start, it's so much easier to like farm decibels, so much easier to have resources. You can clear Shiyu more easily in a way with a less invested unit, because the game gives you the resources with which to do that. But if you have to do like a really tanky elite, or you go straight into it, you now have to have like these really optimized rotations where you have to, manage your anomaly generation so that you're getting decibels on a specific character that triggers the anomaly. And to be honest, some of the videos I've seen, like Salt Kelps, heck, the ones that you showed me, right? The Hugo on the Evelyn clears.
Yes.
On Palicus, it's a work of art. Like, that thing is beautiful. Personally, in my own account, Shiyu is one of those things where I do with my eyes closed. Oh, log in, do a random, YOLO freestyle run. Okay, now let's grind Deadly Assault scores. But then when I, check my more friends, my more casual friends' accounts, and it's like, oh my god, things change completely. Like Shiyu is the final boss of the game.
Yes, I have been seeing for a very long time that people just kind of assume that Shiyu is the easier mode, but I think that might be just because we as players may sometimes forget where we came from, that we were once new players as well. We were once players that didn't have like the greatest gear or teams, and man, it is just infinitely harder if you are lacking drive disc, if you are lacking great team options. Shiyu is infinitely harder because DA allows you to get performance points. DA buffs are usually better than Shiyu buffs, and you can share gear. So yeah, I just think that I kind of just wanted to put that out there, that people need to start thinking about Shiyu from the casual perspective. It can be harder than DA. I kind of want to move on to the Anomaly talk because, guys, I was able to win the battle. Yep, that's right. That's right. I was able to win the battle. I was able to convince Lynn that way more people have an easier time with Anomaly than stun teams. I was able to do it. What do you got to say about that, though, Lynn? Anomaly Zone
With a
0.
caveat, right? Anomaly is 1-0. And I was like, it's a thing where at first it's really difficult for me because I find Anomaly way harder than stun teams to play, right? You have the Zordra ICD, you have Anomaly ICD. You have a mathematical hard cap on how well you can play a team because you're constrained by the game systems. And like, oh, you're trying to do like a cool stun combo, or a 200% multiplier boss. Well, sorry, too bad. You're normally slightly misaligned. So now you don't get to fit as many disorders as you normally would in that stun rotation. It's just way harder to script a fight with Anomaly than it is with a stun team. And that, I think, not necessarily a matter of skill ceiling, because I think stun teams are also incredibly difficult to play depending on the boss and encounter and how you script the fight. But it's a lot more difficult to be consistent with an Anomaly team if you're pushing for higher scores. But if you're a casual player, if you're like a beginner, not even a beginner, right? Just somebody who you're not like sweating the game and trying to optimize your stun combos or actually even routing fights. Well, what that Anomaly is you build up 1 meter, you trigger an Anomaly, you build up the meter again with another unit, you trigger an Anomaly, you just keep going back and forth, and that's a lot easier to do than, okay, I'm gonna set up my stun combo on Evelyn. That means that I need to have all of Lida's stacks maxed out. I shouldn't be overriding that with a new morale spin, so that I'm not removing my previous fight damage buffs. And I need to go into it with my meter max of 3 points plus the burning tethers gauge being full, so that I have enough to do multiple chains, like a 6-chain combo. And I got to make sure that I'm using evasive assists on Astra, so I have enough decibels on her to be able to automate. And then I have to do the basic attack hold on Astra so that I can get 2 chain attacks on one character from that automate. In practice, these things are actually really easy to do. I mean, the combo itself is not hard. Once you understand how the combo works, it's very easy. But the setup for it is something that you have to practice, right? Something that you have to understand. You have to kind of route the fight. I think it's just, you've successfully convinced me, because when you look at it from a player that isn't trying to optimize rotations, isn't like routing rotations, doesn't have like a specific plan on how they're going to be handling the character resources, it doesn't matter as much whether or not you're maximizing your stun damage to the greatest extent, because so much of the Anomaly team's damage comes in the out of stun period. You get maybe like 2 stun stops or something in an Anomaly team. And so if you're like a new player, or you're not a steady player, and you just like hop on Alice or something, and you just, okay, hyper carry, like Alice Vivian, Alice Bernice, just fill the gauge, swap, fill the gauge, swap, fill the gauge. Doesn't really matter if you're hitting Anomaly ICD. Doesn't really matter if you're hitting the Zordra ICD. Just keep swapping back and forth, and you're going to perform well. Whereas if you're trying to do like an optimal Ju-Yuan burst combo, where you have to go into with a certain specific amount of shot shells, or you're trying to go into stuns to maximize the number of chains on Evelyn, or you have to have enough adrenaline and decibels on each one to get all of her combo damage out. I think those things make it more difficult for casual players to be able to perform with. So I think at first I see these Anomalies on 0 posts, I'm thinking that doesn't make any sense. Most of the, not even most, I feel there's a pretty even split, right, between strong attacker or rupture, non-anomaly agents that do damage, and the anomaly agents that exist. And even the anomaly agents that do exist are very hyper carry focused. Like Miyabi practically plays like a crit character, or even Alice, or even Yanagi with the polarity disorders. It's one of those where that doesn't really make much sense at first. I think at the beginning of the game, when we got lots of anomaly units back to back, maybe now they've got Yuzuha and Alice, we got an anomaly unit or anomaly support. But usually it's one of those, I don't really see the anomalies on 0. But Kite has convinced me that yes, if you are a new player, if you're a more casual player, you're not like really sweating things, then I can see why Anomaly is the most effective way to play a team.
So I had to show him. So I get a lot of people who DM me every single day on Discord, wanting me to look at their gameplay and like get tips and like say like, okay, like what can I do here better? What can I do there better? For their teams. And it is a very common trend that almost 9 out of 10 times the team that they perform worst with on their account is the stun team. Lynn, before I convinced him, guys, I had to lock in and just say, okay, let me just send him one of these clears. I didn't show him the name of the person, so so I'm not trying to like call them out or anything, because again, like, people are learning, they're asking for help. So there's no shame at all for trying to learn. But I had to show him like someone's Evelyn clear, right? And show him what I mean. Like, it is just so much easier for mobile and most casual players just to use an Anomaly team. From what I have seen, from my personal experience, maybe you guys in the comments, you can let me know if you have a different experience, but from what I have personally seen as a content creator covering this game for over a year now, 9 out of 10 times, the people that come to me for help, they will always do better with their Anomaly team than their stun team, no matter what, even if their stun team on paper is stronger.
I fundamentally like Afershock as a mechanic, because it was one of the interviews that they did. It was like, oh, we want you to see your agents in combat, even if you're not on them. And I like that design direction. I think Afershock does that really well. I actually find the little tag assist system that they have in Deadly Assault, it's a bit clunky, it's a bit weird, because it kind of gets in the way of quick assists. But I see where they're going with it, and I like it. I think that there's a lot of potential in tag assists as well as a future mechanic. So I think that's pretty cool. But it does feel a bit rough around the edges at times. I think they can definitely... I don't think they've truly found their footing with Afershocks quite just yet. Which makes sense, right? The first Afershock character that we got was Trigger. And then, well, we've got Fufu and Yuzuha pretty much back to back.
Well, off-field Aftershock, because technically it'd be Sambi.
Yeah. I mean, Sambi Aftershock is like... I mean, she just gets like a tag on her attacks, right? It's not really an Aftershock in that sense.
True.
But yes, I think they're still optimizing things as well. When Trigger released, it was actually quite comfortable, because you can swap to her mid Aftershock, and you no longer had the lockout, right? If you try to swap to a character while they're on field, you can't do that anymore. But if you're doing an Afershock, well, you can do that freely. You don't have to worry about that cooldown. And I think that's really cool. I think that opens up a lot of things. And you have stuff like Fufu being able to proc like instant chains if you swap to her mid Aftershock, because the Aftershock is a heavy attack. I think that just adds a degree of skill expression and of creativity to this game's combat sandbox. So again, really cool. But then, well, Yuzuha swap stuck on her for ages, or you get your combos messed up because of terrible inputs that you can't really control when the Aftershock is happening exactly. Well, that's pretty frustrating. So I hope that as they develop the game further, they'll find their footing a little bit more on how to implement Aftershocks in a way that isn't disruptive.
Yeah.
But I like Aftershocks. I'm an Aftershock fan, actually. I'm cool with it. I want more characters that can be played both on field, and then when you're not using them on field, they then transition to being an Aftershock character. I do think like it still feels a little bit like, okay, either it's an Aftershock character or it's like an on-field character. I think if you could do both, that'd be great.
Let's wrap up, homie.
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you hope for the future game direction?
Okay, future game direction. Wishlist. This is just, so my hope for the future game direction is what I put in the feedback forms. If you agree with me, anybody that's listening, put that in your feedback forms as well. Quality of life metrics for Deadly Assault and Shield Defense. Like the little like damage breakdowns that you get in Tower and in Hollow Zero. I want that for Deadly Assault and Shield Defense. Like that. I don't know why they haven't added that yet. So that's like number one. Number two, driveless loadouts. Don't know why we don't have driveless loadouts. What do I hope for the future game direction? I want this game to have driveless loadouts. The amount of times that I go into a fight and I realize, oh right, I don't have my D6 equipped because I put it on another character. Too many times. So they have to do that. Photo mode needs to come back. We had that photo mode event with Evelyn Astra, the best event that they've ever made in this game. And we haven't seen it since. Criminal. Truly criminal. They have to bring that back, and they have to make it permanent. So photo mode needs to come back. And of course, they need to have more male characters. It's a male character drought going on here. I know you said at the beginning, you want to see more tits in the game. I'm all for it. Give me more characters with female model 3. Let's go, buddy. But I also want more male characters too. Give me some male characters. Let's balance things out a little bit.
You do realize you're talking to the certified #1 lighter glazer. That's all I'm saying.
Hugo too, Lighter and Hugo, right?
Well, because he works. Yeah, because he works so well at Lighter.
Exactly.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind more male characters, bro. I just, big tits never hurt anybody. But anyways, for me, future game direction, honestly, I just want them to keep cooking with the weapons. Bro, some of the characters' weapons in the games are fucking sick, and I think they can get even more creative with the weapons in this game. So I just honestly, I hope they keep cooking with unique weapons, because the more unique a weapon, the more unique a weapon is, the more creative they can get with the animations of that character's moveset. Like, imagine if we got nunchucks in the future. How cool would that be? Imagine if we got... No, we already have a Naginata because of Yanagi, right?
I was thinking you can just get any weapon from Bloodborne, any like
True.
mechanical like switch
True.
weapons.
Yeah,
And it'd be amazing. Technically, Chingi's staff is like
it's a three section staff. Right? Yeah, three section staff.
That's really cool. That stuff is really cool. Seth, like a little charge plate.
Seth is sick. Yes, absolutely.
More of that, please.
Like, when you look at the cast of ZZZ, you'll see that most characters have unique ass weapons, and I just want to see them push it even farther, because I think that's also like a huge appeal of a character. Like, my buddy Sock, he likes Lucy because she has a bat. Right? He really likes characters that have a bat. So like, he doesn't care if the character is male or female. Like, if they just have a bat and he can like bonk people, like he really likes that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it could really appeal to people when it comes to the weapons. A huge reason why I liked Hugo was not only because he worked with Lighter, was because he had the scythe, and scythes are so fucking sick, bro. They're so cool. Right? If Hugo didn't have the scythe, I probably still would have got him, but he would have lost a lot of the cool factor from me. Because, man, Hugo wipeouts with his EX or his ultimate in that pose with the scythe, chef's kiss. I, believe it or not, I want more characters like Billy. I want more robots. And this is...
I agree, but what angle? Yeah.
This is... And before anyone says, this is not me hating on Seed. I actually like Seed. I'm going to pick up Seed day one because I like O-Ball Squad. I think Seed's cool. So this is not me hating on Seed. Promise. But I really like Billy and like how he's like the sentient robot. And I would like to see more like him. Like, I want to see another character like Billy. Like a sentient robot. I just think he's really cool. Billy's one of the coolest characters in the game, in my opinion.
In terms of like actual sentient robots, I mean, Billy is the only one really that we have. I don't think
do you count Chingy?
I mean, yeah, I guess Chingy is a Bangbu, I suppose.
She's the Bangbu.
I guess she looks pretty human. I guess you have like the little details, the mechanical details. I think are pretty cool actually. But yeah, more. I wouldn't count Chingy in that because it's like I want like a proper, what is it, intelligent construct as they call it. So I'm with you on that. More Billies.
I want, speaking of S rank Billy, I want to see S rank Nicole too. I'm a very big Nicole fan, and I'm really hoping that all of the Cunning Cares get their S rank.
That would be really cool if every because we already got Ambi, right? And Billy S rank is probably coming, so S rank Nicole would be really sick. I think she'd break the game though. Cool, the game would just cease to exist. Too strong.
They would.
Too overpowered.
She would be a defense agent to protect the game.
With no death shred, absolutely zero death shred.
Oh man, but yeah, I really don't got much else because like I could think of some mechanics things like combat wise, but like realistically, I'm pretty satisfied with ZZZ right now.
Solid combat sandbox. Like I said, the tag assist mechanic, I think they could build up on that a little, and it'd be pretty cool. I think just the crazy stuff that we see with the Hollow Zero gears and without they being messing around with different characters, unique mechanics.
Mhm.
I think they know how to do good combat. So
Mhm.
I trust on them to be able to continue delivering.
Yep. Yeah. Well, anything else? That's all I got. Sorry guys, we were gonna make it a little bit longer, but Lynn needs to get going. So hopefully in the future we can have him back on and we can let him yap our ear off a little bit longer.
Anytime.
But other than
Sounds
that, my editor's gonna make sure that we have all your stuff in the description on the screen right now. Put all LinNull's stuff on the screen. Go check him out. He's the combo god. All right, go check him out. Go check him out. And just know, the people watching this, that every single day I bother the hell out of this man. Like, he wakes up to like 10 DMs every single day, and he's probably like, God damn it, what did Kete send me today?
It's a variety of very engaging content, actually. So hey,
Yeah.
it's we've already got the surprise Astra H1 tag from one of these things, so keep them coming.
Yep. But anyways, I guess we're gonna sign out now. Peace out. Bye.
Goodbye.